So, Mortal Kombat 2 has finally arrived. I'm the Rogue Reviewer, so we're going to be reviewing the film today. We're going to give our overall thoughts of the film and the score. So, here we go. So, Mortal Kombat has finally begun. Shere Khan has now moved on to Earthrealm and wants to take it. So, he's challenged Earthrealm to Mortal Kombat with his fighters versus Earthrealm, led by Raiden and his band of fighters, including Liu Kang, Sonya, Jax, and Cole. However, this time, they've got Johnny Cage on the team as well, so he's been brought in to join the team. So they'll have to fight one by one as they try to stop Shere Khan and his evil band of warriors from defeating Earthrealm. However, there's some sinister plans in the background to stop Earthrealm winning the fight, as Shere Khan will use some of his dirty tricks to make sure they win the competition. However, I don't want to give too much away. So we're back from the cinema. We're going to give our thoughts on Mortal Kombat 2. I'm here with Jon Outworld, and so what did you think of the film?
Disappointing.
Yeah,
I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be good.
I'm gonna say now there might be a few spoilers because we've got quite a bit to say about this film, and it wasn't the most positive
Yeah, I mean,
outcome
I've
I was
still,
expecting from this movie.
yeah, I've still got like good things to say, as it were.
Mm-hmm. There was some things that were done really well. Like some of the fights were really good. It was good to see the characters we wanted to see.
Yeah, and then like some of the shots, there was points where there was like it went into almost a 2D thing, and the characters were either side, like the game.
There was a good fan service
there was a lot of fan service
in terms of what you'd want from the Mortal Kombat fights.
Some of the moves were in there. You could see some of the stuff.
The fatalities as well.
The fatalities were really like, if you've gone there to see the fatalities, it's fine.
You're going to be entertained just for fatalities. However, my biggest disappointment, I have to say, sadly, because I'm a massive Cole Urban fan, was Cole Urban as Johnny Cage. He was wooden. His dialogue was really flat. He was quite self-aware. He just kind of was brought into the Earthrealm fighting competition, and he just seemed to just know too much, and he just kind of just was.
I mean, they kind of did that in the first film as well, though. You know, like they all just come to terms with it really quickly.
Yeah, but he came very like he
did come very quickly.
Yeah, it was like knowing what powers and when he was going to get his powers. He just seemed to be a bit too kind of self-aware about the situation and kind of just like, okay, this is happening kind of thing. But yeah, that was one of the biggest disappointments was Johnny Cage. So I was hoping he was going to really take that
kind of shine
and take this story kind of forward.
Because I really like Carl Urban as an actor, and I was like really genuinely hopeful.
Yeah, another important character for this film as well is Shere Khan. What did you think of Shere Khan?
I thought, from the trailers, honestly, I didn't actually think he was going to have that much presence, and I was pleasantly surprised. He did, like, on screen, he was, like, very intimidating, and he was a big guy, and yeah. And then they should have Darth Vadered him. They should have got a different guy with a different kind of background to actually
voice kind of do the voice. Quite match the character, and also he seemed a bit more sympathetic than I imagined Shere Khan to be about. A lot of situations are being quite sort of merciful about
it. Yeah, he was alright about stuff.
Especially with Katana,
he loved Katana.
Yeah, who's basically his kind of like adopted daughter after defeating the previous realm. But yeah, he was very kind of merciful with her, and sometimes it just didn't.
She got away with murder.
Yeah, but overall, he was okay. He was fine as Shere Khan. I wasn't really that disappointed. The fights were good. Like him with his hammer was awesome.
The hammer was awesome. Yeah, he was good. I think, and this is a weird thing to say, I think maybe they used him too much.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
They should maybe built up to him
and something like that, because it was like there were so many characters that they didn't use that they'd like kind of set up, and again, I don't want to go too much into it, but like
it felt a bit like the Shere Khan show about showing any of his kind of fighters preparing for the tour, even though they did have
Shang Tsung didn't do anything.
Yeah, there was a lot of filler with a lot of characters, legacy characters that was kind of shoehorned in without much plot to do, or story or much to do, and it was kind of just okay. They're in this scene,
which is a real shame because like all the legacy. I actually thought a lot of them did really well. Like Sonya was really good, or
Yeah,
charming, and Jax was really
was good.
charming.
Yeah,
Liu Kang was really good, and they just didn't use him. Even though, what is it? I mean, we're talking about, but Liu Kang has the best fight.
yeah, no, he does. So Liu Kang has probably the best fight in the movie, and it's kind of in the middle of
In
the
the middle,
film,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
but
really beautiful
it's the best
setting
fight.
shot. The
Yeah,
cinematography for it is really good as well, and it kind of feels like this should have almost been like a kind of finale fight. It was so
it's
well
so
set up,
well done.
but
Yeah,
it's kind of it just feels like that is kind of shoehorned into the middle of the film where they just another thing that's been
another
put
thing
in,
that's gone on.
but it
Yeah.
is the best fight.
So I kind of, and we talked about this when we came out. I kind of liked, and I'm of two minds. I kind of liked how fights, it just jumped into it, as it
Yeah,
were.
they just
It felt very
there was like
on par
there was
with
five of their fighters, five of their Pharaohs, and they just called.
boom, going into a
It was
fight.
time for the fight
Yeah,
now, without much explanation other than
there's
there's
now the
time.
fight happening. Yeah, which kind of felt video gamey or like into the source material, but like as the film got on, it started to be like, oh, I wouldn't mind some sort of
Story
about what's happening a bit more.
Yeah, it got a bit kind of a little bit tedious, a bit wearing kind
Yeah,
of as it was
yeah.
going on, and the
Because
film
it's just fight, 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 fight.
and the film itself did feel quite long as well. Like towards the end, I was kind of looking at my watch, like how much more of this is to go.
Oh
Because
yeah, no. Who's your standout character?
I think probably Katana was good. Like
Yeah.
like I like the backstory they created for her, and her kind of motive for what she was doing made sense. And they should have probably more centralized the whole story around that rather than having these kind of shoe-in characters with.
So thematically, I can totally get that you would make Katana the sort of main character because she's got the backstory with Shao Kahn killed her father.
I just thought from the trailers that the main story was going to be about Johnny Cage and being brought into this world, where he was just kind of there with kind of throwaway
sort
lines.
Of have his little bit of an arc, I suppose.
He did. It didn't really make much sense why he was there or why he was even chosen, to be fair. But he was just there saying these kind of like cliche lines. He didn't have that cockiness that you. I'm a big fan of the Mortal Kombat, the original film, and I really liked the actor who played Johnny Cage. And he was cocky, he was suave, he was kind of like
the swagger to him.
Yeah, where Cole Urban doesn't really have that same, I don't know, swagger.
So there was no sort of romance or any chemistry with him and Sonya.
Yeah, there's lacking that.
And it's almost like they tried to make it happen because he's in a lot of scenes with her as well.
Yeah, there's the room to do it,
and they're in a lot of scenes together.
They just keep going off on these other stories that don't kind of really lead anywhere. It's just like a lot of
and
things
then
just to show the character.
And then that thing happens, but then they show a bit of some of the moves. So you're like, oh, there's a lot of it's a lot of fan service, but it's not as much. It's where the video games they actually do put a lot of substance into the story.
There's a story that's happening.
A story that's actually happening. Yeah.
One of the characters I'm really happy to see back is Kano. He really lifts the movie up, and when it starts to get a bit kind of wooden and dry, when they bring him in, he brings a real good kind of comical kind of charm to his role and to the film as well. And like his character makes sense within the story as well. He kind of like gives the film a bit more of a direction, which is really needed at the time.
His reasons for doing what he did as well make sense, and you're like, yeah, I can totally see him doing that. But his character does make sense and all his motivation.
Yeah, and the actor's fantastic.
And the actor's great.
He's really
good.
It's
like I don't know why they gave him such a free reign to do what he wanted to do though, because I mean that just feels like on Outworld side, that feels like a lot of bad decisions.
Yeah. I think Shao Kahn and also Quan Chi is back and he's kind of up to his kind of evil ways.
But like, really didn't think it through when he was the whole Kano situation. He sort of you should have done better, Quan Chi. Yeah, you should have done better.
Two other characters from the trailer, you knew they were coming. That kind of was really hyped up that didn't kind of live up to expectations.
Oh wow, yeah.
Was Bihan and Hanzo Scorpion. The big build up to that fight was another thing that was kind of just shoehorned in towards the end.
I didn't think it was that great of a fight.
It wasn't. Yeah, the fight, the little shots they show in the trailer, it's good, but when you watch it, like Bihan's kind of just isn't as good as he is in the first.
So the fights in the first film was the Sub-Zero and the Scorpion fight's the best fight,
Yeah.
and then all the fights with Sub-Zero in it are amazing. And then as Bihan, he's very subpar.
Especially as it's a new character. He's Noob's
Noob Saibot,
yeah, and you're expecting some awesome moves. Like
they do get in the shadow stuff, but it's more about it like just another character fighting other people.
It's just another generic CGI character. It doesn't do anything that interesting in terms of the fighting choreography of the film.
And he's sort of losing all the time.
Yeah. You'd think when he comes into it, it's like he's going to step up a level. But Scorpion just handles him
fine. Yeah. He's handling both of them at the same time, and it's like, where in the first movie it took like 4 of them to take down Sub-Zero.
I think that was one of my biggest kind of disappointments. From the trailers and stuff. I was so hyped up for that scene, and when I got there, I was like, "Oh, is this it?"
What good things did you think about that? You kind of hated everything Johnny Cage did.
So probably his best moment in the film is when he meets Barack. Barack is fantastic. He's such a grueling monster, creepy little character. You don't quite know what he's going to be like, but he's actually hilarious. But it works well with the character, and he does have a bit of probably the only chemistry Johnny Cage has in the film is with Barack, and it is actually quite funny. He does the fight scene with him. The
fight scenes actually, I like. Barack seems like quite a berserk mode, and how he's angry about things as well.
They have a good rock. He does the
little kids stopping him in.
Yeah, and it's the classic Johnny Cage like a nut shot as well, which is a good moment in the film as well. But But Barack has quite a bit of
he's
like arc
got a lot of he's got a bit of an arc and a bit of a presence.
It's almost like they could have taken bits of the film to make one really good movie where they just added too much in rather than just focusing on the good parts that they put into that film.
That was another. It was like, and again, you have to sort of do it because there's a lot of it's a fighting game, as it were. But there was like a little bit too much stuff going on without any. Even though the premise of the film is like relatively simple, it's a fighting competition. You've got everybody. You don't win. There's 5 fighters on each side. Last one standing wins. Boom.
Yeah. One other thing I'm slightly disappointed about is the music. Mortal Kombat 1, the original, has such great music, and I was hoping this new one was
90s dance track.
With the hype of this film, I thought they might do something similar, where the music just is very forgettable. And
well, they even had the music. They even had the dance track at the end.
Yeah,
like they recognised that you wanted to hear the dance track,
but they didn't put it in the movie.
They didn't put it in the movie or anything like that. Just as
or something new to add to it. They didn't. Yeah, I thought the music was a bit of a disappointment. I was expecting just something. Also, like the cinematography, everything looked a bit grainy and I know it was meant to be like the Outworld.
Outworld is a bit
but it was very dark like the whole way through. It wasn't.
It was yes and no. So during its little bopping around, when like I complained earlier about eventually that bopping into fights gets annoying. At the same time, I thought where the fights were quite colourful.
The actual fight
when you got into the fight bit.
The Liu Kang one obviously is the standout one. That was good.
But then it would suddenly go into grey,
or just be in a room where they're just talking, and
Shao Kahn simping over his daughter.
So the fights, what was your standout fight? Obviously, other than the Liu Kang Kung Lao fight, which is a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, we've talked about that fight lots of times. For me, I guess like Sonya and Sindel, I really enjoyed.
That was a good fight. I enjoyed that. That felt like a proper Mortal Kombat game fight.
Because Sindel keeps like spamming her scream attack.
Actually, it was a very cheap move.
She keeps spamming the thing, but like you got like a bit of a pit fatality with it, and it was definitely a very Mortal Kombat looking stage.
There was a few kind of like nothing fights between Jax and Jade and Johnny Cage and Katana, which just felt just very tame, kind of like nothing, kind of more. It wasn't really much.
So even though I didn't like the fight, wasn't anything special as it were. But like Jax's and Jade's interaction with each other was
they had a little bit of chemistry between. They were good.
You were like, oh yeah, you could have done more with that as well. That was.
I think the 2 standout real fights were Katana versus Shao Kahn at the end. Liu Kang had a good fight with.
I actually like the fight with Shao Kahn. I like that fight. He was like shooting him in the face.
The fight scenes were good.
What about Cole?
Yeah, Cole. Cole, we're not a massive fan of Cole from the first film. We felt that it was a character
Yeah,
that
he wasn't really in the film, or
shouldn't have
not
really
supposed to
been
be in
it.
the film in the first place.
But Cole has a funny moment
Yeah, it's really, he
his
does have a
fight
funny film.
where
I still hate Cole in this film as well. Sorry,
he
Cole.
gets done dirty in this film. To be fair, he does well in his fight, and he gets kind of mugged off and with a very cheap set of moves.
Cheap set moves, yeah.
Um,
Spamming move.
but yeah, no, the fight scenes are good. You can't really complain with the action and the fighting. That is probably the most solid part of the movie. It's just the story, I think, that kind of really lets it down, and some of the dialogue.
Some dialogue,
is
yeah.
really wooden and flat, and just
so what they've done with the characters, it was like, yeah, I mean, which is a real shame because again, yeah, a lot of the characters have been done well. They look great.
They look how you want them to look.
Look how I thought all the acting was actually generally quite good. Yeah, which just makes it more upsetting. So it was good fighting, good acting, and it still felt disappointing.
So onto the scores. What would you give this film out of 10?
Yeah, like a 6.
Yeah. So I'm quite similar, just a little bit lower. I would give this a very disappointing 5.8 out of 10. I was really looking forward.
We both were.
Yeah, we both were very
both...
excited to see this film. Even from last year, we were excited to see this film, and I was hoping with the extra time for the preparation of this film to come out, they would make sure that this was like a solid, like at least a 7 out of 10 or 8 out of 10.
I wonder if there's like editing issues, and they're gonna find out that there's like,
maybe
more scenes and things. You know how like freaking Batman versus Superman only really worked. No, actually, when you watch the whole the cut.
The director, Simon McCoy, I think his name is. This was, I think, it's only his third movie, so maybe there's not. I don't know. Maybe didn't have the right experience to do such a big action film. We know he did the first Mortal Kombat film, but other than that, he hasn't really done much else. So maybe someone needed a bit more experience. Might have been a better, safer pair of hands. I think this film. Do you think this film will do well in the cinema, or it's done really well in terms of like promotion stuff? It's been really good.
I mean, I wanted to see it. I wanted to see it in the cinema. I wouldn't want to see it in the cinema again.
No, I don't really have the edge to
so like a DVD and watching it at home. I could do that.
Maybe on the second watch, maybe it'll be more enjoyable.
But in the cinema again, like it was definitely enjoyable in the cinema. But like, yeah, it was too long. It was too long.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. I hope you found our points interesting. It'd be great to hear your points as well. So please leave some comments below. If you like this film, let us know. If you hate it, tell us what you didn't like. If it's something that we've said that you might agree on. Anyway, we'll see you on the next one. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow.